of LHAP are credited on 1st of January and 1st of July every year in the leave account of railway employee, which is maintained individually. For in each individual case, leave account is maintained. And in gazetted railway servant case, leave account is maintained in the accounts section, whereas in case of non-gazetted railway servant, it is maintained in the by the personnel branch. This you need to know. So the three broad classification are on leave, special leave, and extraordinary leave. On leave, since you have known, now special leave is a leave which is not debitable, which is not debited from the LAP or LHAP account, but it is given away as and when occasion arises. So it is the special kind of leave are specific to the occasions. And those leave are maternity leave, paternity leave, work-related injury leave, study leave, and childcare leave. These are the special kind of leave. The extraordinary leave is nothing but the leave on leave without pay. This is what you saw. The third kind, rule number 530. Extraordinary leave is leave without pay. Now we will see each and every leave in detail. Whenever you have a doubt, you can raise your questions in the either chat box or you can unmute and ask the questions. First of all, leave on average pay. 30 days of LAP are credited in two spells, 15 days on 1st of January and 15 days on 1st of July. And the credit is at the rate of 2.5 days per month. And fraction can be rounded off. Rounding off means if the total credit is say 7.5 days for 3 months, then 8 days can be credited to the leave account. Reduced by 1/10 से मतलब है, so if an employee is on EOL, extraordinary leave without pay, then for each 10 days of the EOL, 1 day of LAP will be deducted or reduced because we have already given advance credit. If an employee doesn't use say 15 days of LAP, it keeps on accumulating, and accumulation limit is 300 days. And this 300 days is encased at the time of retirement, not before that. One more important aspect associated with the LAP is that joining time can be credited to LAP account. Now, what is this joining time? See, whenever a railway servant is transferred from one station to another station on administrative ground or in public interest, reciprocally, there should not be a personal interest or personal request to the transfer. So whenever an employee is transferred on administrative ground, he gets maximum 15 days of joining time depending on the distance between the two stations. If the distance is up to 1000 kilometers, employee gets 10 days. If the distance is up to 2000 kilometers, the employee gets 12 days. And beyond 2000 kilometers, the employee gets 15 days of joining time. And if this joining time, whatever balance joining time is, which is not availed by the railway servant, can be credited to LAP account subject to the limit of 300 days. If there is already 300 days of LAP at credit, there is no point in crediting this joining time. It is then advisable to avail the joining time. Maximum leave that can be granted at a stretch is 180 days. Means if an employee have 180 days of LAP at his credit or her credit, maximum 180 days can be sanctioned at a stretch. School staff, since they enjoy the vacation, the proportionate number of days are deducted from 30 days of credit. And if they don't avail any vacation, then full 30 days can be credited to their leave account. So the leave, the school staff here means the schools which are run by the Indian Railway. Here the credit is pro rata. Pro rata से मतलब है if an employee is retiring in between, I mean before the 30th of June or 31st of December, and since the credit is given in advance, the pro rata LAP is deducted. For example, if an employee is say retiring on 28th of February, then only he is entitled to only 2.5 plus 2.5, that is 5 days of LAP. This leave should be applied in advance, and the advance time is 30 days. But practically this couldn't be followed. It depends on the competent authority to sanction the leave. And the thumb rule is, as long as an employee can be relieved on leave without hampering the office work, leave should be sanctioned. It has been mentioned in the leave rules itself that the leave should be liberally granted. In fact, it has been mentioned that the employee should be encouraged to take the leave so that he enjoys the vacation and comes back refreshed. This is what is mentioned. But practically, it is very hard to get the leave sanctioned because of the workload and all, you know. This leave, I mean leave on average pay, can be combined with other kind of leave except CL and specials. So casual leave and special casual leave cannot be planned along with the LAP. Another important aspect of this leave is prefixing and suffixing of holidays. Now holidays also include the Saturdays and Sundays, right? If LAP is availed on Friday and again on Monday, then all the 4 days are counted as LAP. It's a rule. Leave is a privilege. It cannot be claimed as a right. Leave, एक thumb rule है, the leave cannot be claimed as a right. Yeah, we are talking about the suffixing and prefixing of holidays. Supposing if an employee is availing leave from Monday to Friday, that is 5 days, he can enjoy prefixing Saturday, Sunday and again suffixing Saturday and Sunday. So by taking 5 days of LAP, he can enjoy all the 9 days of vacation. In case if he is posted in the administrative offices where 5 days week is observed. Yeah, Rohit, in case of voluntary retirement, also 300 days of LAP can be encashed. Anudeep, I didn't get your, I couldn't understood your question. The amount credited in this leave, will it be a gross salary or net salary after all deductions? See, leave on average pay means average pay of a day, of a day. It is not like the deductions are made from your leave salary. The deductions are made from the gross salary. And gross salary means it includes your leave salary also. Supposing if you have taken 2 days of LAP in a month, the gross salary includes 2 days of leave salary. Am I clear, Anudeep? If not, then be specific and ask your question again.
Yes, sir. I mean, will there be any deductions of NPS and
Yeah,
income tax and all these things?
everything,
That's what I
everything.
mean.
Yes, yes, yes. Deductions will be there.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. For the workshop staff, there is a special benefit provision that they can avail half day of LAP. Now, the other kind of leave, that is leave on half hours. Here the credit is 10 days on 1st January and 10 days on 1st of July, and therefore 20 days in entire year. And the rate of credit is 5/3 per month, 5/3 days per month. And here the reduction is one day for every 18 days of EOL. And maximum reduction is 10. Like in LAP, the maximum reduction was 15 days. Here also the proportionate credit is given. Means if an employee is retiring, dismissed, or resign, then in that case the proportionate HLAP is deducted. "24 months of HLAP can be sanctioned at a stretch if that much of an HLAP is available in the leave account of an employee. It can be combined with other leave except CL and special CL. So far we have completed LAP and LHAP. If you have any questions, you can keep on putting in the chat box. I will clear your doubts, etc. Now, look what happens to those 300 days. These 300 days are encashed at the time of retirement, including voluntary. But in case of resignations, the encashment is 50% of the balance. So maximum 150 days can be encashed at the time of resignation, or if you don't, if employee doesn't want the encashment, then he can carry forward all his LAP at his credit to the new organization if the new organization permits such carry forward. In case of compulsory retirement, if there is no cut in pension, then all the 300 days can be encased. Now, one important aspect about this encashment at the time of retirement is that if employee doesn't have suppose sufficient number of LAP, that is less than 300 days of LAP. For example, let's say employee has 250 days of LAP at his credit at the time of retirement. Then to make it 300, 50 days of HLAP will be encased at the time of retirement to make it 300. All the leave encashment at the time of retirement is tax free. Now, apart from these 300 days of LAP encashment, there is one more benefit associated with the LAP encashment. Now, here whatever I am going to discuss is about the LAP encashment. Only and only LAP encashment during the service. And this benefit has been added since the 6th pay commission, that an employee can avail 6 times LAP encashment for each time 10 days of LAP. That is 1/3 of the basic pay and the DNS allowance. And the interval for such encashment is 2 years. 2 years is to be counted from September to August. So right now, you are in a block period from September 2020 till August 2022. But it is always advisable to avail this benefit whenever your pay is, considerably higher. Because right now you would be drawing only at the rate of 56,100. But after a period of say 5-6 years, you would be reaching JG, and after 13 years of service, you would be reaching selection grade. And at that time, you will still have 6 years of service. 12 years of service. Right, because 6 times this benefit can be availed. And when you reach selection grade, it is advisable that avail this benefit when you reach the selection grade. At that time, your pay will be much higher, and the encashment is given at the rate of the pay which you apply. I mean, date of application. There are 2 conditions associated with this encashment. One is employee must avail leave along with his 10 days of it, as well as employee should avail pass or PTO. These are 2 compulsory mandatory conditions to be fulfilled. And here leave means any kind of leave. Leave means leave, sick leave. In sick leave, you can't leave the headquarter. You can avail CL even. Casual leave can be availed for availing 10 days of LAP encashment. Ankit has asked that at the time of joining, is 15 days LAP and 10 days of LHA credited on a leave account? Say, since you have joined in October, for October you won't get any credit, but for November and December, 5 days of LAP has already been credited. Believe it. So we have so far completed LAP, LHAP and the encashment. Now the benefit of sick leave, which is actually the commuted leave, because this leave can be given only on medical certificate. On production of medical certificate, commuted leave can be availed, and popularly you know this leave as sick leave. 2 days of LHAP are commuted into full pay. Therefore, twice the number of LHLP is deducted from the leave account when an employee avails commuted leave or the sick leave. Apart from sick leave, commuted leave can be availed in two more occasions. One is in continuation of maternity leave, up to 60 days without medical certificate can be availed by a woman railway employee, and to undergo any approved course of study up to 6 months or 180 days can be availed without production of medical certificate. There is one more important rule, that if an employee who is undergoing commuted leave is resigning without returning to duty, or if he takes voluntary retirement, then the entire period is treated as HLAP and half of the salary is recovered. But such recovery is not done in case of death or invalidation. Secondly, there is no limit as to availing this leave. You know, like in LAP, there was a limit of 180 days. In LHAP, there was a limit of 24 months. But in commuted leave, there is no such limit. There is one more important benefit under this leave rule, and that is leave not due. Permanent railway servant can avail up to 360 days of leave not due when no other leave is at the credit of employee. 360 days during entire service. So this is a kind of advance leave at half of the average pay. So you can understand that this benefit is for the survival of the employee, survival of the family of the employee who is continuously under sick, and the sickness is prolonged. And therefore, this is strictly given on medical certificate of the railway only. Secondly, there should be a likelihood of the railway employee to come back on duty. There should be a clear certification from the medical authorities. Then only L&D can be sanctioned. Temporary railway servant with 1 year service may be granted for undergoing treatment of tuberculosis, leprosy, cancer, etc. See, what if the employees who are working under you ask for the leave. Since there is leave provisions, employee may need leave, and when there is emergency, you may need some other staff to cope up the work. And therefore, in almost all the departments, the provision of leave reserve has been kept. Right now, look at this. What are the percentage of leave reserve in a cadre? Cadre means working strength of employee. In operating, it is 16.23, sorry, 66 to 30%. In loco running staff, 15 to 30% of the. So this is over and above the total sanction strength. Supposing if you need 500 loco staff, loco running staff, loco pilots, then you should add 15% to your necessities. Similarly, in case of guard, also 15 to 30% of the leave reserve can be kept. For commercial staff, it is 15 to 25%. So leave reserve comes when the regular employee is on leave. In case of transfer order, the leave can be sanctioned by the competent authority at the place where employee is transferred after reporting. And before that, whatever leave is required will be sanctioned by the competent authority or the controlling officer where employee was working, means the previous station. What salary will be drawn is also mentioned in the leave rules. That is rule number 544 to 546. Leave on average pay means full basic pay plus DA plus HRA. Here for HRA the limit is 180 days. So while on leave, up to 180 days of HRA can be drawn. For HLAP also, up to 180 days full HRA can be drawn. But the basic pay will be half. In case of commuted leave or the popularly known as sick leave, full basic pay plus DA plus HRA is given. Transportation allowance in any kind of leave, whatever you call, is not admissible if an employee is not going to duty at least for a single day. That is, if an employee is absent from duty for a full calendar month, then he is not entitled to TPTA, transportation allowance. And the rate of transportation allowance is 3,600 in Baroda, right, and 7,200 in the metro cities. You need to note the details, what rate of transportation allowance you are entitled to. Maybe you are in Sikandrabad or Nasik or Pune. I think Pune it is 7,200. Today, study leave, in case of study leave, only basic pay and DA is admissible. One constraint is there that increment cannot be drawn during the leave. Now, why this rule? It is because of a stipulation made in rule number 544 that leave salary will be equal to the last pay drawn by the employee immediately before proceeding on leave. Because now, suppose your increment falls on say 1st of July and you are going on leave on from 1st of July only. Then in that case, whatever salary you draw on 30th of June will be your leave salary for the entire period of leave. And as soon as you resume the duty after completion of leave, your increment will be drawn. Means you become entitled to the incremental pay. Otherwise, the previous pay only. So you need to keep this in mind while applying for leave or while going on leave. Vipul has asked a question, sir, are probationers temporary servant up to their probation stage? See, for the purpose of leave rules, probationers are treated just like permanent employees. Another question asked by the Haris Yusuf, that can we avail sick leave if we already have LAP or we are already on LAP? Yes. If supposing if you have gone on LAP for 2 days and after immediately those 2 days, if you fall sick, then in that case sick leave can be availed or the commuted leave can be availed in continuation of LAP. Authority empowered to sanction the leave or competent authority to sanction the leave. See, according to the schedule of powers or the powers delegated to sanction leave, senior supervisors or the supervisory staff in level 6 and above, they can sanction up to 15 days of leave to class 3 employees who are working under them. So obviously the powers of assistant officer are more than that. So above 15 days it should come to the assistant officer. For more details you can refer to the model SOP. Model SOP 2018. Leave on medical certificate. See, what has been mentioned here is that gazetted or non-gazetted railway servant living within the railway health service covered area shall be required to produce medical certificate from either CGHS medical officer or a railway medical officer. CGHS means Central Government Health. And where leave is required on medical ground is of more than 3 days, the employee should report to the railway doctor if he is fit to travel, and if he is bedridden, then he should send an intimation about his condition to the railway authorities. Those living outside the railway health service area at the time of illness are required to produce medical certificate from AMA. AMA means authorized medical attendant, who is nothing but our ADMOs. हमारे जो IRHS प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, on their appointment they are posted as ADMOs. There is some relaxation in case of non-gazetted staff, that in case of NG staff living outside 8-kilometer radius of the AMA, competent authority can sanction leave at its discretion on production of sick certificate from registered medical practitioner, that is private doctor certificate. But in any case, if leave is required for more than 3 days, then employee should report to the railway doctor and bring a certificate these rules, maximum number of days of leave cannot be more than 5 years under any circumstances. And if supposing if an employee remains absent exceeding 5 years, then we don't undergo any disciplinary case or actions, etc. Because as per these rules, he is deemed to have resigned from the railway. So we need not undergo any disciplinary actions, etc. in such cases. Only GMs have got power to consider the leave beyond 5 years. It is always better not to remain unauthorizedly absent because of this constraint. Look at this. An officer who is absent from duty without any authority. Now here authority means sanction of leave, sanction leave. Shall not be entitled to any pay and allowances. Such absence shall be deemed to cause break in service unless otherwise decided by the competent authority. So even break in service can be imposed for the unauthorized absence. And once a break is imposed, all the benefits, only the continuity will remain, but the benefit of the past service will not be there. All the past service will go away for the purpose of retirement benefit. One more important point here to note is that whenever there is an unauthorized absent, it can be commuted into extraordinary leave, that is without pay, EOL, but it requires to be sanctioned by the competent authority. Secondly, it has been mentioned that such discretion should be used judiciously. Not only at this point, I would rather advise you that leave should not only be sanctioned judiciously, it should be availed judiciously. Extraordinary leave, that is without pay. The maximum limit is 5 years. It doesn't count for increment, doesn't qualify for pensionary benefit unless and until it is taken for the medical or the study purpose. If EOL is taken on medical ground or for the purpose of the study, then only it counts for qualifying service as well as increments. Otherwise, it doesn't count. No leave salary is drawn during EOL, only HRA and TPTA if otherwise admissible. TPTA, I have already mentioned that if leave or absence due to any reason is for the full calendar month, then TPTA will not be drawn. That is, transportation allowance will not be drawn. Now, special kind of leave. Special leave are given on occasions and therefore not debitable to the leave account. This is a thumb rule. And I already mentioned in the starting of this session that there are 5 kinds of special leave: maternity, paternity, work-related injury leave, study leave, and the childcare leave. Now, Let us look into all the 5 kinds of leave into detail. First of all, maternity leave. The maximum maternity leave is 180 days. It is given up to 2 surviving children. Maternity leave is admissible up to 2 surviving children. This means the limit is to the number of children, not the number of times this leave can be sanctioned. For example, in first delivery, if there are twins, no more maternity leave can be sanctioned as long as those 2 children are surviving. In case of adopted child also, this leave can be sanctioned, provided the child was adopted when he was below 1 year of age. In case of miscarriage or abortion, 45 days during the entire service can be sanctioned in single spell only, means 180 days altogether. See, in continuation of maternity leave, there is a provision of 2 years continuous leave, but it will be employees only. And maternity leave has nothing to do whether woman is married or unmarried. Now, paternity leave. So, paternity leave, the limit is 15 days and it can be availed either 15 days before or 6 months after the date of delivery. Is not debited from the leave account. This leave lapses if it is not availed, just like maternity leave, sanctioned in one single spell only, and it should not be refused under any circumstances. Now, work-related illness or injury leave. See, earlier there was provision of IOD leave and special disability leave. IOD means hospital leave. Injured on duty, the popular name. The real name is hospital leave. So, hospital leave and special disability have been abolished. Instead, work-related illness and injury leave has been introduced since April 19, 2019. So, this is a latest amendment in the leave rules. And the first and foremost condition for availing leave is that when illness or injury is attributable or is aggravated in performance of the official duties or official position. Why this word is used? Official position. Maybe due to official position. Supposing if a technician, he has an altercation with the supervisor, senior supervisor, and later on he assaults that supervisor on any trivial issue. Such things happen. So, though it is not directly associated with the work performed, but because of the official position. So, in such condition, WRIIL can be sanctioned. But there has to be some sufficient proof. There is a laid down procedure for sanctioning such leave. It cannot be sanctioned straight away. There has to be, number one, an accident report. Number two, statement of witnesses. Number three, a special medical certificate from the railway doctor. A medical memo. So only with all these documents, this leave can be sanctioned. There has to be statement of the witnesses who are the eyewitness. Now let's go and see what is the provisions of this law. Earlier, hospital leave and the disability leave were limited to 6 months only. But in this provision, entire period of hospitalization, the employee gets full pay. Not only that, after the discharge from the hospital, again up to 6 months, employee gets full pay. And thereafter, up to 12 months, employee is entitled to half pay. That too can be commuted into full pay by offering the HLAP at a credit. So these are the major changes which has taken place last year. In case of RPF and RPSF staff, the limit is enhanced. Hospitalization plus 24 months full pay. Okay, one constraint is there that no LAP or LHAP will be credited to the employee's account during the period of this WRIIR. And if any compensation is paid to the employee, then it is it is adjusted. Hospital leave and disability leave has been abolished. So far, in special leave, we have seen maternity leave, paternity leave, work-related injury leave, and the fourth kind of leave is study leave. See, after 5 years of regular service, an employee can avail study leave. But the condition, the foremost condition is that the study which an employee wants to undergo should have direct and close connection with the sphere of duties. If not, this leave cannot be sanctioned. Secondly, it should be certified by the controlling officer that by undergoing this particular course of study, it will improve the ability of the railway servant, and that it will not be only advantageous to the employee, but it will be advantageous to the government also. So this all certification is required, is necessary from the controlling officer. Then only competent authority can sanction the study. Doctors for undergoing their PG and scientific staff or technical staff, they are liberally granted this leave. This leave cannot be sanctioned for academic or literary purpose. Academic means for undergoing the basic degree courses like BA, BCom, BSc, like that. BE cannot be sanctioned. A railway servant undergoing study leave has to execute a bond for a period of 3 years. That after returning from leave, he will serve the railway for 3 years. And therefore, those who are retiring within 3 years cannot be sanctioned this leave. The maximum study leave can be 24 months in entire service and not more than 12 months at a time. After 12 months, the performance of the employee is reviewed and then only another 12 months can be sanctioned. I have seen sanctioning leave 24 months at a stretch or at a time is not correct. Now this study leave being 24 months may not be sufficient in some courses. So this study leave can be combined with other kind of leave. But in no case it can exceed 28 months. Right. And in case of those who are undergoing PhD or the PG degree, that is doctors or the technical staff, etc., in their case 36 months maximum study leave can be sanctioned. Now in this case also 24 months will be on study purpose, study leave account, and 12 months employees only. In case if study is completed before 24 months, then employee should resume the duty immediately. These are the other conditions associated with the study leave, that it counts for promotion, seniority, increments, and for the pensionary benefits. Leave abroad should not be granted to junior and senior scale officers for study purpose. JG and above can only be granted leave for study abroad. Only pay and DA is admissible, we have already seen while seeing the leave salary. And stipend, if any received, is to be adjusted against the leave salary. So here the study leave is over. Now only one special leave is remaining, that is childcare leave. This leave was introduced by the 6th Pay Commission for the benefit of working women. Working women, those who have up to 2 surviving children and up to the age of 18 years, they get up to 730 days of childcare leave in entire service. It has nothing to do with the number of children. Even if it is a single child, the woman gets all the 730 days. Up to the 18 year of the age of the child. If the child is disabled, there is no age limit. This leave is granted for the purpose of study, sickness or rearing the children. जब बच्चा बहुत छोटा हो तब, जिसकी कोई देखभाल करने वाला ना हो, तब ये लीव दी जा सकती है. Can leave headquarter or even ex India with permission. Cannot be for more than 3 spells in a year. This limit has been, I think, removed 5 days. So it can be any number of days, but cannot be more than 3 days. Sorry, more than 3 spells. And treated at par with LAP, it means the childcare leave should be applied in advance and got sanctioned in advance. One benefit added to the single male having child, that is either unmarried, widower or a divorcee father, that they are now eligible for the childcare leave, and the added benefit is 6 spells instead of 3 spells. But in all cases, childcare leave will be 365 days on full pay, and for the remaining period, 80% of the pay and allowances. One more provision is there for the aggrieved female railway servant, where an inquiry is going on under the sexual harassment case, that such female railway servant can be sanctioned up to 90 days of leave on recommendation of the internal complaint committee. Every organization are now having ICC. You will see ICC at all the divisions, headquarters, etc., workshop, etc. So this is all about the leave rule. In some occasions, special casual leave is also granted. Special casual leave is not the part of the leave rule, but I have kept this for your knowledge, that up to 90 days of leave can be sanctioned, special casual leave, at the divisional level, but GM has got full power. Full power means all the 365 days can be sanctioned by the GM to sports persons. Scouts and guides can be sanctioned up to 30 days. For blood donation, 1 day special casual leave can be given. On election day, 1 day. Trekking expedition up to 30 days if it is organized by the railway. To the female railway servant, if they undergo the family planning operation, up to 14 days. 14 days in case of failure, etc. In case of absence, burn, curfew, etc., which is beyond the control of railway servant, special casual leave can be sanctioned. You might be aware that during the lockdown period, the railway board has already issued a circular that those who could not resume the duty during the lockdown period, they can be sanctioned special casual leave. To attend the territorial army camp to 6 days of journey period, special casual leave can be granted. In other occasions too, like again under the family planning scheme, 1 day for the family planning operation of male railway servant, right? To the male railway servant whose wife undergo tuberculotic operations, teachers attending seminars, stenographers appearing in examination. In the discipline and appeal rule cases, defense assistant, if he is a serving railway servant, he gets 2-3 days of special casual leave to attend special Hindi examinations employee gets this leave. To attend the cooperative society meeting up to 10 days plus journey period, and to the trade union bearers for attending meeting, etc. Meeting day plus 1 day advance for consultation, etc. So this is all about the special casual leave. And now only thing remaining is casual leave, which is again not a part of leave rules. But you should know what are the rules associated with the casual leave. But those who are in the administrative office, they get 8 days of leave. And all others they get who cannot enjoy the public holidays, they get 10 days of special casual leave. It is always full pay. Yes. क्लास के बाद बात कर 5 मिनट के बाद 5-10 मिनट can be availed half day forenoon or half day afternoon. One important point here is for third or subsequent late attendance of an employee, half day casual leave is debited. So यदि कोई एम्प्लॉय बार बार लेट आता है उस केस में तीसरी और बाकी जितनी बार आता है 2 लेट अटेंडेंस आप एज ए कंट्रोलिंग ऑफिसर आप उसको कंडोन कर सकते हैं, वो भी अगर आप सेटिस्फाई हैं तो, नहीं तो वहां भी आप बता सकते हैं कि आप कैजुअल लीव रख दीजिए. So up to 2 attendance, late attendance of up to 1 hour can be condoned. For the remaining, third and subsequent, all the such late attendance, half day CL can be debited. If employee doesn't avail the casual leave, then it lapses. So here we come to an end of the leave benefits. Now I will look into the chat box. What are the questions you have put in? I will reply to these questions, try to reply to these questions, and then yeah.